Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And in news that will surprise absolutely no one, it's been revealed that the SNP have a lack of credibility when it comes to running government. No, seriously, I know, shocking, isn't it? Turns out that 32 civil servants are working from home. And by working from home, we mean working from home and living abroad. We are paying these people to do a job and they're not even in the country. What on earth is going on? If you need them in for an emergency meeting, they need to get planes. It's ridiculous. Anyway, it's an example again of a lack of control, a lack of credibility, a lack of even basic understanding of what actually constitutes a government. How can you possibly have effectively foreign nationals running your civil service? Dearie me, Hamza Yousaf, get a grip. Anyway, we'll take a look at it and just sort of scratch our heads in wonder and think, how on earth is this man still in a job? Let's go. So, SNP lack of economic credibility? No, say it isn't so. As 32 civil servants found to be working from home in foreign countries. Now, we've done a video earlier about the fact that Hamza Yousaf is so economically illiterate that John Paul Marks, the head of the civil service in Scotland, threatened to resign. But this just goes to back up and show that there's no doubt that John Paul Marks is absolutely correct. And perhaps a few of them should resign just to highlight how awful the SNP is and how basically what a moron Hamza Yousaf. This man should not be in any kind of position of authority. He hasn't got any authority, but he shouldn't be given any power of it. He doesn't know what he's doing. He literally hasn't got a clue. Anyway, SNP leader Hamza Yousaf has been told his government is out of touch and lacking credibility following a revelation that 32 staff are still using COVID rules to work abroad. What is wrong with him? Offices are lying empty in Scotland as civil servants are found to be working from European cities rather than taxpayer-funded offices. Close the offices then. If there's no one in there, close the office. Don't need the office. Close it. Save a load of money. This is leaving Hamza Yousaf accused of being out of touch. Oh, tell me that ain't so. I mean, does anyone who watches this channel regularly think that Hamza has ever been in touch? Has he ever been aware? Has he ever had his finger on the pulse of public feeling? Of course not. The man's a moron. Anyway, some of the 32 individuals are working even further away than Europe, and the revelation has sparked scepticism over the working conditions, while others question staff's commitment to public services. Government employees are taking advantage of COVID rules that mandated working from home and are yet to be lifted in some sectors. Now, if you can get away with it, that's fine. But that isn't the fault of the employees. That's the fault of the government for saying that this thing is still allowed, rather than that, right, it's coming to an end. If you want to keep your job, get your arse into the office. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Anyway, the trend has led to fears over local businesses that rely on office life and the ongoing cost of running buildings. One group has said taxpayers don't want to hear about civil servants working from sun loungers. While political opponents say the SNP is showing its lack of economic credibility. Well, it's showing more. We already know it is economically illiterate. There is zero, nil, nada credibility. The SNP have none. So it's just showing how bad it actually truly is. Figures released by the Scottish Government in response to a Freedom of Information request by the Sunday Post newspaper show that 32 civil servants are working remotely from other countries. Would we have thought it any less? It's not really surprising, is it? It's just another example of how bad it is. Elliot Keck, head of campaigns at the Taxpayers Alliance pressure group, said Scots will rightly be sceptical of these working arrangements. Taxpayers expect public sector workers to be at their desks, delivering on public priorities, not sitting on sun loungers. The Scottish Government should be the Scottish Government should be fully transparent about the conditions placed on civil servants working abroad. Name them, shame them, tell them they come into the office or they lose their jobs. They don't want to work? That's fine, it's their choice. Scottish Conservative finance spokesman Liz Smith said the SNP government appeared to some like a remote entity, stating while the SNP preside over a £1 billion black hole in public finances, these far-fetched rules won't do much to change that. Now, I have been saying that it's a lot more. I've been saying it's 1.3 billion because they had the 300 million announced in NHS help, and then the further maybe £500 million, maybe up to £1 billion for the council tax freezes and things like that. But it turns out that they were lies. See my last video. So that 1 billion, but it's still going to be more than that billion, you know. But that 1 billion is back to where we were, but it's probably going to be more. Anyway, during the COVID pandemic, people were often stuck in other countries with their families. It made sense to have staff logging on from the other side of the world. No, it never did, because it was all rubbish. We know that now, of course. But now that the COVID's over, they should be bringing these people back and saying, look, here's how it works. This is your job. You've got to be in the office. If you're not here Monday morning, we'll take it you don't want your job. And leave it at that. Modern, high-tech and expensive offices are now laying half empty across Scotland. High streets are struggling and hospitality businesses need office staff to stay and eat locally. This out-of-touch SNP government is showing its lack of economic credibility. Humza Yousaf may as well be working on another planet. Humza Yousaf isn't working. He's turning up, he's saying things and then he's leaving. The things he says are either wrong or lies. He's not actually doing anything, is he? He hasn't done anything for the 6 months he's been in charge. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, the information revealed did not list exact locations, but 28 were in Europe and 4 in the rest of the world. I wonder how many are in Gaza. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? I bet those 4 are all in Gaza. Anyway, changes to the rules introduced in August 21 allowed staff to work remotely from locations outside of the UK for a short period of time for personal reasons. But it's now years. It shouldn't be years, should it? The change was mainly made because of the coronavirus pandemic, but the figures show many staff still taking advantage of them more than 18 months after the final restrictions were lifted. And they will continue to, and put it in bluntly, take the piss while the Scottish Government allow it. And all they have to do is stop allowing it. But they won't, because they're probably all his mates, aren't they, in Gaza. A Scottish Government spokesman said, consistent with the policy in place across the UK Civil Service, the Scottish Government considered applications, blah, 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 load of old crap, end it now, get them back or tell them they haven't got a job. You're in the office or sod off, and that's it. Why should the taxpayers be paying not only these salaries for people sitting on their sun loungers, but also the upkeep, maintenance, heating and whatever of half-empty offices? Close one office, move the others in and just concentrate the offices, put everyone in one office, sell the other office off. Not a problem, is it? Make a bit of money. Stupid, isn't it? But then this is Humza Yousaf and the SNP. Do we expect any less? No. Coming up. Are any of us really surprised at the amount of imbecilic buffoonery that comes and emanates from this SNP government? It could be solved easily, but, it takes someone with balls, and we haven't got that, have we? We've got Humza Yousaf, the Ken doll, isn't he? He's the Ken doll of Holyrood. What the hell? Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. Please share the video, and until next time, stay safe, stay well. And if you can get away with it, hey, it isn't the workers' fault, is it? Bye.